Okay, so speaking of the question is by Nick Kano. It's like speaking of Maajid Nawaz, what the hell happened to him? Armin and I both know Maajid personally. Armin actually had a very nice sort of remember the non-conference. You guys had a nice sort of healthy, fun little conversation about reform versus non-reform, um, and different lectures about it too. So I mean, it's just strange. I feel like there is a. I mean, everybody kind of knows what's happening. There's a lot of there was the election in 2020. There's this whole thing that's going around the world right now. The reason we're all at home, which we can't talk about because of YouTube. But there is it seems like he's bought into a lot of these sort of conspiracy theories and everything that are going around, and it's a difficult thing to see. I feel like there is something what I call a contrarian fetish going on, because at the time, there's skepticism. You want to be skeptical about things. You guys, I'm asking questions. I want to know, why should I accept the mainstream view? But you can also take that to an extreme where it can become a fetish. Now, I think that there's an Armin. This is a huge compliment to you. I think the way that Armin does it is a healthy, reasonable way. Armin does play. You've heard him say many times, I'm going to play a devil's advocate. And he looks at the other side, but he represents it in a reasonable way. And when he considers those things, he also considers it in a very reasonable way. So he's a very sort of independent thinker. But there are, I think, what's happening with Maajid, what's happening with some of these guys like Brett Weinstein, and I can't even talk about what Brett Weinstein's pushing, so I'm gonna not say it. But some of these alternative theories that are going around is when you've taken the devil's advocacy point, thing, and the contrarian thing to just fetishistic levels, where you've pushed it
They're
so
not
far.
doing devil's advocate. They actually believe they're nonsense, Ali.
No, but that's what I'm trying to. Yeah, I know they're not doing.
But that's
so. Let's say the contrarianism. They're trying to be. They are purposely trying to be contrarian. They are suspicious of the mainstream media. They're suspicious of the narrative that all of these publications that actually have some integrity to what they do, right, are lying about things. And on the other hand, they're going to all these sort of alternative media sources and these strange sort of fringe organizations to get their information from them because they feel like somehow they have the right thing going.
But devil's advocate is not when you believe in the nonsense that you're spreading. Devil's advocate is that when you say something you don't agree with and you're just trying to present the argument from the other side. These people are not devil's advocate. These people are just believe the insane things that
okay, so call it a contrarian fetish. Like they're trying to be they're contrarians, and then they're just taking that to an extreme to fetishistic levels. It's an easy trap to get into if you are an immature thinker. Like if you have come, and I think a lot of these guys have come from, like, I don't want to do an analysis of Maajid, because I know him. I think he is a pretty smart guy. He's a brilliant guy. But I think sometimes when you come from places where
Who was a smart guy? Who was a smart guy?
Maajid is a pretty smart guy.
No. But okay, go ahead.
You may not. I think he's a pretty smart guy. But in any case, like the way that when you come from a background where there's a lot of emotionality that's transfused into your ideology, like your ideological stance has a lot of emotionality behind it, then I think that kind of sometimes corrupts the clarity of the thinking, right? I think that can happen. There's a difference between passion for your stance and emotionality that gets infused into your stance. I think that's the difference.
Okay, guys, I don't understand why Maajid was before. What did his stance that we agreed with was what? Radical Islamic groups are bad. Okay, so I'm surprised a lot of people think that was such an intellectual take for them to be shocked. Like people like, what the hell happened to Maajid? I'm like, I mean, what was it? What was their? I mean, what were you? Why are people shocked? Like, it's not like if a Sam, like for example, if a Sam, like okay, Brett Weinstein, okay, that you could be shocked about that because this is an intelligent person, blah blah blah, right? But I'm just not saying any grounds for being shocked here, as if like having the take that, oh yeah, you shouldn't like behead people, that's not good. It's such an intellectual take that you would be grounds for surprise.
I don't think it's his stances that I'm talking about. Like his stances we always disagreed with. I mean, his whole stance on reform, his own stance on reforming scripture and everything. But the intelligence, where the intelligence came from Maajid Nawaz, is that the stance that he took, even though it was very unconvincing, the way that he presented it, how articulate he was. I mean, he did kind of get an audience with. He's very good. He's very smart in the way that he articulates this thing, right?
Oh yeah, he's a good presenter. You can say that about Trump as well.
Okay, well, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't compare the two. I think it's a little extreme. And by the way,
I'm just saying good. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he has a good presentation.
I don't think Brett Weinstein and Maajid are that different. I never thought even Brett Weinstein. He's very convoluted in the way he talks. He always was. Like, you know that debate. You were there when he did that debate with Richard Dawkins about evolution. He was talking about how religion is part of the extended phenotype and all that stuff.
He has some really dumb takes, but he's not like. I mean, I would be more upset, like intellectually, I would be more, a scientist having such bad takes would be more like of a, oh yeah, this person is dumb and it's surprising that he has this many bad takes. Okay. But with Maajid, I'm just saying with Maajid, it's just like, I'm not saying I'm just saying like there was nothing before that would like, I would be upset about the things he's saying, but I'm just like, there's nothing for me to be surprised about, like as if he wasn't like somewhat of an intellectual with so many good takes that it would be so strange for me for them to like. It is news, like it is like I'm not saying it was. I would have predicted for him to have such bad takes, but it's not as shocking as a lot of people make it seem to be.
Yeah,
like he was never an intellectual.
I think there's a difference. Like there's a lot of people who have the same takes as him. Who are demonstrably dumber, like Asghar Nomani, for instance, right? But he is, I think he's it's a different thing. I don't think I'd question, how smart he is. I disagree with his takes, though. But anyway.
Hey guys, if you want to join these streams live, get your comments and questions read by Ali and Armin and the guests, and most importantly, to get full access to the full video versions of all these episodes, become a patron. Link in the description below.